Hi, everybody. I am so very excited to be here on this beautiful Tuesday. I hope that you guys are having a really amazing evening. Um, so I like to jump on here on Tuesday nights and interview different people on their transformations with our nutritional cleansing system. And I got the idea because my sister was telling me, Jacqueline, you share these before and after pictures all the time on Facebook, and nobody can really relate to that because sometimes it looks like you don't really know the person, or, it just doesn't seem real. It's just not like a real thing. And so I was like, well, what better way to come on Tuesdays and interview people who've had actual transformations, be able to share their pictures and their story, and then have them come on and share some information about what, oh, I don't know why I'm having feedback. Is there still feedback? No. And share some information about, what they've achieved and how it's transformed their lives and stuff like that. So tonight, I have my amazing friend Lois Waterman on with us. She has been using our nutritional cleansing system for longer than I have, and I am so excited to have her here to share her story with us and for me to ask some questions. And, this is also on live. I'm kind of fidgeting to get the other computer set up as we speak. So please don't hesitate to ask questions that you have, anything that you've been curious about. Please reach out and just ask. We'd love to help you in any way that we can, no matter, what your question is. So Lois, thank you so very much for being here tonight.
Sure, I am. I'm really honored. I have to tell you that I do something inspirational every day, and a lot of times I go to your YouTube channel and see one of your interviews for my little bit of inspiration for the day. So I'm really honored. Thank you. I appreciate being here.
I love that. That's so awesome. Next week you can watch yourself inspiring you. Thank you so much. So how long have you been using our nutritional cleansing system?
At the end of March, it was 14 years.
Wow. That's amazing. So can you kind of give us a little bit of a background on how you got started?
Sure. A friend of my husband's from high school lived in Idaho, and she was introduced to this system, and she had friends that introduced her. They were from Utah, and they came that all had amazing transformations, amazing, and they all carried with them their before and after pictures. And they came to our little town. We live in a very small town in northeastern Arizona. They came here to talk to as many people as they could find. She didn't come specifically to come and find us, but when she found that we lived next door to this lady that she was at, she called my husband and asked if we'd come over and just chat. She didn't tell us why. She just said, come on over, we want to visit. So we went over, and there were all of these people there, and they were all showing us their before and after pictures, and they actually sat us down and did a full-blown 2-hour presentation, which, of course, today, none of us would ever do a 2-hour presentation. But at the end of it, basically, almost all anyone talked about was weight loss. And at the end of it, as we were walking back home, just, next door, I said to my husband, if you want me to lose weight, I certainly know how to lose weight. I was very comfortable in my own body. I was the mother of 7 children that I'd given birth to, and I felt like I looked fairly decent for a middle-aged woman. I was 54 at the time. Felt like I looked okay. I mean, I wasn't wonderful, but I thought, hey, I'm, 54 years old. I've had 7 kids, and I was very busy. I had a very busy life. So I wasn't like looking to lose weight. And my husband said, you don't get this, do you? This is not about losing weight. This is about cleaning all the junk out of your cells, and that it'll help your health in many different ways. It's just a side benefit. that the pounds and inches will come off. But he said to me, I'm not even expecting that to happen for me because I've tried so many things and nothing ever helps me lose weight. So I'm not looking to lose weight, but I am wanting to try the health benefits of this. So I said, well, do it. That's fine. If you want to do this, do it. He said, no, I can't do it without you. I've got to have you do it with me. Well, in all of these people, and I'm trying to think, I think there was like 8 or 10 people that had come. It was 2 carloads of people. So in all of these people that came, one of them was an 84-year-old woman who had told us that she hadn't been able to sit in a car for any period of time because her joints would all lock up. And that she was so excited because after using this system, she was able to not only ride in a car, but then she kicked her one foot up and then the other foot up to show us that her joints worked just fine. Thank you very much. And so that was the only thing that really had caught my attention, was that dear little 84-year-old woman. So I told my husband, okay, we'll try one system. We'll see what it does. That was it. That's why we tried.
So your opinion to change was mostly influenced by what your husband wanted, right?
Oh, absolutely. I only did this to support him. Absolutely.
Isn't that kind of funny looking back now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't even imagine how different our life would be. I seriously cannot imagine how different our life would be.
So, you start using the system and you achieve amazing results. We shared some of the results that you achieved through my earlier post. What was the most challenging thing along the way for you?
First of all, I have to say that we did a system. We loved it so much that we did order again and did one more system. And my husband did drop 50. He dropped 35 pounds in that amount of time, and I dropped 15.
Wow.
And which to some people, 15 pounds isn't a lot, but I'm 5'2". It's a lot when you're 5'2".
Wow.
And so I thought a lot about this, like, what were my greatest challenges? The system itself was easy once I just followed the instructions and did it. Even though I cried when my husband pulled out the products and showed me what we were going to be eating on cleanse days, I said, I can't do that. I have this blood sugar issue where I have to have something every couple of hours. I can't do that. And he said, no, I think you can. Let's just try it one day. And of course, I tried it and I could. Just my own personal body it just worked really well. And so that was the easy part. The hard part for me, and you know this because of our personal development training we've had, but the hard part for me was to accept that this new body that I had was really going to stay. That because I had dieted a lot ever since I was 15. I had dieted and I would lose weight and then I would always gain it back. So I was like, well, gee, this is wonderful. Here I am. But, I was always just waiting for that moment when I'd start to gain weight again. And so I would say I spent a good year just in fear that this really was too good to be true and it wasn't going to last. But it did.
Wow.
So that was it. Accepting the new identity.
Right, and then being able to move forward from that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So what do you think, I want to think about that a little bit because, you touched on a couple of things. A lot of times people start things and they'll achieve really amazing results. And then, like you said, they'll either gain the weight back or they'll lose the lean muscle mass that they work so hard to create. What you've said, you've been able to maintain this for 14 years that you've used this system? Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think that with this system you've been so successful and you haven't had to yo-yo diet?
Because it's not a weight loss system. Because it's a cellular cleansing system. And I know that if you don't understand cellular cleansing, then let me just back up a little. My husband knew that he had been exposed to a lot of toxins. He made hand grenades, for one thing, during the Vietnam War. He worked in a factory. But there was a lot of other places and times when he had been exposed to a lot of toxins. Now, not that we are, all of us are exposed to a lot. I mean, our carpets, our mattresses, our, if we fly very much, there's flame retardants all around. There's so many toxins in our life, so many chemicals. But he had really been exposed to a lot. And when Jim Rhodes, who was one of the first presenters that we heard, Jim Rhodes said that when you have toxins in your body, that your body calls upon you to make fat to wrap up those toxins and stuff it away in your fat cells to protect your body. And so that really made sense to him. And he wanted to try and see what he could do to get all the garbage. I mean, if I was 54, then that means he was 59. I mean, he had almost 60 years worth of garbage that he had been accumulating. And so I think that this works simply because in the maintenance program over the last 14 years, most of the time we have done one cleanse day a month, sometimes two, as part of a maintenance program. And we've kept the incredible protein in our system on a daily basis when we were not doing a cleanse day. So, it's just a continual process. We're continually being bombarded by these chemicals, but we now are continually taking those chemicals out of our system and out of our cells. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, it does. And do you have like another speaker on? Because I can hear myself talking like from your end. I don't know why it's doing.
Sorry, I don't.
No, that's okay. So there's also, it stopped. That's really weird. I don't know why it keeps doing that. But there's also two other things that like a traditional diet doesn't address, right? So in addition to toxins, there's stress that traditional diet doesn't address. And then there's also the nutritional deficiency of our food. So the food that you eat today isn't as nutritionally deficient, isn't as nutritionally dense as it once was.
Right.
So in combination, with those three things, would you say that that's those are three major factors that the system has helped you with to maintain what you've achieved for the last 14 years?
Exactly. And let me just tell you that I'm not getting any feedback I don't hear any feedback from you. So if you're hearing it, it's just on your end. But
it was like in and out. It's really weird.
Yes, that's another huge issue. Something that you probably have never heard about our story is that, well, first of all, I told you we have 7 children, but when our oldest child was 2.5, he got a rare, I can't even call it a disease. He got a virus that lodged in his spine, but it took us a long time and many doctors and many hospitals for them to figure out what was going on with him. And once they figured out, they said, it's a virus and it's going to run its course. And they told us it would be about 6 months, which it was. And it's a virus. And they may have things for viruses today, but this was 46 years ago or 45 years ago, something like that. And they just said, it's a virus. We can't do anything for virus. So you just have to go live with this for the next 6 months. At that point, we went and sought out anybody and everybody. And we found naturopathic doctors. We went to health food stores. We just did everything we could. And we actually found answers. And we were actually able to help him live through the next 6 months without all the pain and agony. And it, it was really hard, really awful. And so I knew that there were natural things that worked. So from that point on, I mean, I lived at the health food store. I got lots of stuff from the health food store. We had a whole closet full of different supplements. So I studied about it. I grow herbs in my backyard to this day. I mean, I'm that health food nut. I'm that lady, and it's not that we don't go to doctors. We definitely do. But I had learned for myself that there were certain things that they couldn't address. And so I'd always tried to. Now, when we saw this program, I said, I've done colon cleanses and they were very painful and they were not fun. I've done blood cleanses and I could see results. At the time that we saw this, I was taking some supplements that were a liver cleanse. And so I really didn't think, I thought I'm a clean person. I eat well. I've done all this. I really didn't think this was going to affect me personally. Maybe my husband who had made hand grenades, but I didn't think it was going to, do much for me. And it was so profound. I wish I had the words to say how profound it was. But if people have read the story that you posted, I was in a really dark place in my life, and I can't emotionally, and I can't tell you why this works. But I've coached well over 1,000 people now, and I will just tell you, I hear this story a lot. So it's not just me, but somehow that dark cloud lifted. I don't know why. We didn't even have the stress relieving products that we have now. In those days, it was just simply the cleanse. And so I don't know why, but I was able to cope with what was going on in my life. And that was so huge. That was so huge. I don't know if I answered your question. I'm trying to remember what your question was. Yes, the thing is, we did eat really well. We ate really well, lots of vegetables. But what I didn't realize is why our vegetables and our fruits did not have all those trace minerals that they should have had. And those trace minerals are vital. So that was a big thing, even though I was trying every way I knew.
Yeah, no, that's definitely helpful. So, you guys have had a lot of success on this system. What do you think were the keys to your success? Did you do anything in particular or special that you think?
I just have to tell you that we were so blessed to do everything accidentally right. It was just accidentally that this friend that came, she was talking to people all over town. And so we had like a group of us. And even though she went home and took a college class and turned her phone off, which was really hard on me because I didn't have there was nobody around. I mean, we're talking, the company had only been around for a year. There weren't a lot of people that knew about this. But so we didn't have, and it took me a while to find Jim Rhodes, who truly became our mentor, but it took us several months to connect with him. But we had each other. That's the thing. That was the biggest key to our success, is that, first of all, we had my husband and myself, but then we had a whole group of people that our friend had put together. And so we were blessed to have buddies. We were so excited to get together and share recipes and say, different things that we were discovering, more mental clarity. Oh my goodness, we're sleeping through the night. Before this time, I was 54 years old, and before this time, I remember saying almost on a daily basis to my husband, he'd tell me about some issue going on, and I'd say, well, what do you expect? We're getting older. And I said that constantly. What do you expect? We're getting older. We're a whole lot older today, and I don't ever say that anymore. So, you know, that to me, the biggest thing was having all that support of just people around me all doing the same thing and sharing in our excitement.
That's really helpful, especially for people who are watching who are just getting started. It's always more fun to do, you know, to work out or to do a program with your best friend, you know, and you have better results.
So since you said workout, I just want to say really quickly that my husband and I had been running together for 14 years. At that point, it's now been 28 years for us running together, but every morning for 6 mornings a week. At that time, we were running 4 to 5 miles a day. Now we run 3 to 5 miles a day, sometimes 6 or 7 if we're training for something. But 4 miles was our norm then. 3 miles is our norm now, and then we add in other days that are longer. And we were just chubby little bubbies running down the street, you know. And several people have said, well, yeah, you run, that's why you're the way you are. And it's like, no, 14 years. But it was good. I've often said, if my husband didn't get up in the morning and go running with me, it would be really hard for me to be able to maintain that daily, day in, day out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So you've used our system for a very long time. You've had amazing results. Where do you see yourself in our company within the next 5 years?
You know, first of all, let me say that I used this system for a year with people coming to us saying, holy cow, what are you two doing? I want to do it too. And then they'd want me to order their products and let them come to my house and pick them up from us and pay us, which we did for a little bit, and it was a nightmare. And finally, when people would come, I'd say, I can't be your grocery store, but but I'll set you up on an account just like I have. The products will come to your door. I just love it that they're delivered right to your door, and I'll set you up. So I was not trying in any way, shape, or form to make a business out of this. I was just helping people. And I'll tell you, I would do that for free. I would do that. I would tell people and help them get an account set up for free. But the company started rewarding us. And it was about a year into it that I just said, what would happen if we actually tried? We're not even trying. And so then that's when I started working and getting a vision of what I would like to see. And I don't know where this number came from, but it came into my head all those years ago. And in the next 5 years, it's interesting, Jacqueline, when you're your age, 5 years is just 5 years. When you're my age, even though you've got wonderful products, you know, we are getting older. and so, you know, who knows what our life is going to look like in 5 years. But I do know that I'm not spending the time today on building a business that I did before, because I have a lot of things to do in my life before I die. Behind me, you see a quilt that my husband's grandmother made, and you can't see it all, but up above there's a little statue and a little hand mirror that came from my grandmother. And we're really into family history and preserving family history and writing books about family history. And so I have a lot of other things to do, but I still have this number in my head of people I want to be able to help. And that number is 100,000 people. And the way that happens is that I I help people, and I help them help people, and I help them help people. And so when you gave me that question, I thought, yeah, I can see that in the next 5 years, that's where we're going, because today we have technology. We have so much. Look at what we're doing right here. We have such incredible technology to help us, to help other people, to help other people. And when we first started, one of those people that came down had peeled the labels off of every bottle and laid them out flat and put them all on an 8x11 sheet of paper and taken a Xerox copy of it, and we had the ingredients. He gave us those flyers. That's how we showed people what the ingredients were in our products. There was one little CD, before days of CDs, one little audio tape that came with it that we would share with people. They would come with every system, so we had a lot of them, because every time we got a system, we'd have another tape. Today we have websites, we have so much, and so the technology will help me reach that goal, and that's what I see.
I love that. I love that your vision is to help 100,000 people achieve the same success that you have, to be able to maintain a certain weight for 14 years, or just to feel really healthy and good in your body.
Honestly, today, so when I look at my body, I went from a tight size 12, and I never could really admit that it was 14, but I did have a few 14s, but a tight size 12 down to a size 6. And it was just mind blowing that I couldn't wrap my head around that number. I kept trying on larger clothes, and then they wouldn't fit. And I'd think, oh, well, I guess I'll try a 6, and it fit. It was never about the weight for me. But when I look at my body, I think I could be a size 2. I just don't, and I have the tools to be a size 2. It's just not one of my goals. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
So because it was never my goal.
There's a difference between living a healthy lifestyle and trying to achieve a certain size or image, or you're going to eat differently if you're working to building muscle mass versus lose weight and feel good in your own skin. So I have 2 more questions for you. One of them is, do you believe that anyone is capable of achieving the success that you have achieved in the past 14 years?
I do. And if by the success you mean be able to sleep more deeply and have better mental clarity and be just there's a joy that comes, and I wish there were words to explain it, but to feel that joy inside, and to have, like what I just said, to have the control. Some people, it really does matter to them. They're not happy unless they're a size 2. And I know I've got the tools to do that. Right. I think, yes. I do believe that anyone can do what we've done. I do also believe that every body is different. So it might take a different amount of time, or the journey might look a little different, but no one is ever hurt by good nutrition.
Right. It's funny because when you talk about the joy that comes with it all, I keep thinking of the movie Trolls. I don't know if your grandchildren have seen that movie.
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it.
So the whole concept behind the movie is that the Bergens eat trolls because it makes them happy. That's all I can think about. So what's, and I believe that anybody's capable of achieving that sort of success too, especially with the system and the tools that, we were kind of talking about and sharing. So what's one thing that you could share with someone who right now may not be in a very happy place or is just feeling a little bit down, what's one thing that you think that you could share with that person that could help inspire them? You know, maybe it's about your journey with your health. Maybe it's about some of the personal development things you learned along the way. You know, no matter what it is, just what's one thing. And I know I put you on the spot for that one.
You did. You did. Um, there's so many more than one thing, but the one thing this is how I feel. To put a name to my business, it would be, you are the miracle. You, everybody is a walking miracle. Or maybe they can't walk. Maybe they're in a wheelchair. Maybe whatever it is, you are a miracle. And as we see ourselves as a miracle, as we see our own uniqueness, that there's nobody in the world like us, nobody in the world that can touch the people that we can touch in exactly the same way. We each have there's something unique and special and wonderful and miraculous about each of us. And to just believe in yourself, believe that even if you have chronic pain, that there is a way to live joyfully, that you're the miracle. And when you get products in your body that allow your body to do what your body was designed by its creator to do, when you actually get those nutrients in and the garbage out, who knows what can happen? You're the miracle. You can do all kinds of things that you might not think you're capable of at this moment, but you can.
I love that. It's funny because I ask a lot of people these same questions, and it's always something so different that I learn. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing it. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me tonight and to just share your journey with everybody here on Facebook. And, you know, if you guys joined us live, thank you. If you have any questions, just comment below and we'll go back and make sure that we answer those.
One thing I'd like to say, Jacqueline, is I feel like that more people your age are joining us these days than people my age. And a lot of what this company does is help people your age live this incredible life that probably wasn't even in your brain that could be lived. And I am just so grateful when I see what has been accomplished by people your age. You are younger than our seventh child. You're younger than our youngest child. And when I see what's been accomplished by you and by other people your age, it just makes me so excited. But also what excites me is to be my age and still gaining muscle. I'm gaining muscle all the time. And people my age lose muscle all the time. So I'm just grateful to be my age and have a chance to not be as old as I would be without this.
I love that. Thank you so much for the beautiful compliment, Lois.
Oh, gosh. You're the best. Don't get me started.
Well, thank you guys so much. Thanks again, Lois. I was so happy to have you on tonight. I hope that everybody has a beautiful and amazing week, and I will be back on Friday. I'm not sure exactly what time. I usually try and do them around noon, but sometimes, you know, depending on who I'm interviewing, that time may not work out. So I'll be back on Friday with some entrepreneur from some type of entrepreneurial industry. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing week, and we will talk again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.